Welcome back. The Federal Executive Council, FEC, ordered the full implementation of the suspended Naira-for-Crude deal. The suspension of the deal involving the federal government, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL), and the Dangote refinery after the expiration of its first phase on 31st March led to a hike in fuel prices. The Ministry of Finance has now clarified that Naira-for-Crude policy is not temporary but a long-term plan to cut Nigeria's dependence on foreign exchange for petroleum. Now, for more on this conversation, I have Ifeatu Obi Okoye, a lawyer and a public affairs analyst, joining us via Zoom. And of course, I also have Obiaruko Ndukwe, a communications consultant and president, Citizens Quest for Truth Initiative, with me right here in the studio. Good to have you on the show this evening.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Good.
Now, let's get down to how this whole thing spanned out from the very beginning. Now, the policy for the full implementation for the Naira-for-Crude deal is a long-term plan now, which would actually cut Nigeria's dependence on foreign exchange for petroleum. Now, how welcoming is this news?
Yeah, of course, it's been long overdue.
Okay.
You know, because the pressure on the Naira has been overstretched. So we needed something to cushion the effect. And then, of course, you know that the more they buy with the dollar, the more they buy the crude and the oil with the dollar, the more the pressure on the Naira. So I think it's a good step, you know, by the president, you know, in the right direction to see if we can actually reduce that. I'm not saying it's enough, it's going to solve the whole problem we are having. No, it's not. But I think 50% of the problem will be solved with this policy if we implement it to the letter, because the problem is not the law. It's always the implementation of the law. I just hope that the operators don't find a way to circumvent this thing, because sometimes you see people, when the government comes up with a policy that is supposed to benefit the entire nation, a few persons, interested parties who feel that it will cut short their their income. Okay, they might look for ways to sabotage the policy. So we hope that the government is ready to ensure that this policy is not sabotaged. And like the Federal Executive Council made it clear, it's going to be a long-term thing. It's not a short-term. So people should have that at the back of their mind, because we have a nation, an expectant nation, people who want it now. True. You know, to be so they don't. Sometimes they are not well informed, and sometimes the government also fails in their duty to let the people know the truth. They give them the impression that we can actually do this thing. So it's not going to be swift like as such, but in the long run, as time goes on, I'm sure we'll begin to reap the benefits. All
right, given that the fact that our local refineries would be benefiting from this policy a lot, now what new strategy do you suggest for our local refineries to adopt in order to cause a major dynamic in the oil market?
Well, for me, the local refineries are basically the Dangote refinery. You know, we may have some others that are a bit silent, that are not in the news. Well pronounced. But I think that it's to their own advantage. Aside the advantage it has on the nation, on the economy. You know, I think that the local refineries will begin to function better. You know, it will be easier for them to purchase the crude with the Naira, because they don't need to go and source the dollar, because that's actually the problem. Even when the dollar is available, there's this, internal conspiracy by the operators, maybe in the past, I don't know about now, and they make sure that there's shortage of dollars. Actually, the dollar goes to people who don't even need it. It's in the pocket of individuals. But now that the local refineries will not have to trade in Naira, I think it's better. And then again, like you asked, I think that the government needs to encourage more investors, to go into this line of business, oil and gas. Let's have more private refineries and the modular refineries. It will also help to curb the effect of, the local, what we call them, the coal fire and all those local drilling, and all that. So I think that that's one part the government needs to encourage investors, encourage those who have the money, who have the wherewithal, who can do it. I believe there are still so many Dangotes out there. If they are given a fair chance and given a level playing field, very many people can even come together. It can be consolidation of funds and then go into this business. It will help, because it's affecting everybody. Absolutely. If you're the only one who is rich in your family, everyone that is poor will come to you. True. So even the rich is not spared.
Yeah, okay? with what you said now, it's obvious you made mention of the fact that people want it now.
Yeah.
Like they want the solutions straight up. Now, the removal of the fuel subsidy obviously opened our eyes to the rot that has held us back for a long time, which would have further plundered this country into some kind of economic chaos.
That's right.
Now, is Naira-for-Crude going to compensate for the change we hope to see in the oil sector? Do you think it's going to bridge the gap in any kind of way?
It's not going to be 100%.
Okay.
But it has taken the problem 50%. It's 50% solved, which means we're making progress. You know, the moment we start, like, as long as there's no sabotage, the policy is implemented to the letter.
Right.
I think it will also help. The question you asked on the what do you call it?
The subsidy that was removed.
Yeah. I don't think there was no better time for that. You know, it's, of course, it raised a lot of dust, but we are beginning to get used to some of these things, particularly now that people know that with this Naira-for-Crude exchange, that the price of fuel will begin to reduce, and all that energy products, so people are happy because when that subsidy was removed, we saw the price of fuel almost 1,800, almost 2,000 naira. But today we're talking about 800 and something naira, and we're believing that it will still drop. Yeah. So the important thing is to communicate, let the masses know what is coming, and also let them know that it won't be that easy. I heard the president once say that. I didn't say it was going to be easy. So I wish there was another way.
So what you're advocating for is back-to-back communication with the people for them to understand what's going on. So they
must make that
communication,
close that gap. Closer in the language the people will understand. Because sometimes they are too technical, and the man on the street doesn't understand this. All they know is that subsidy was removed. They don't know the implication of it. Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Now we take a time out now, and music continues in a moment.